Welcome back to Nigeria at 54, Path to Nationhood. But now, as we continue our focus on the speech and then circumstances, issues, events, occasions going on about Independence Day anniversary. Babajide Ogunsanwo joins us now. He's a data and information analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning. Today.
Thank you.
It's good to say this morning. Oh dear. But then, going through the comments, the speech that the president did deliver today, he reeled out quite a number of issues. Yes, there was that aspect about job creation. We know how important job creation is. He talks about the medium-scale enterprises, what they're doing about that, how they're supposed to. Yes, we could also just see some of those high points, the highlights of the speech that the president did deliver today. But yes, you look at that, he talked about how they've gone ahead and set up the Victim Support Fund, the Safe School Initiative, all geared towards ensuring that they also do something other than arming and military to engage the insurgent group. Free and fair election, he says, has come to stay. Nigerians would not accept anything short of that. About the economy, he talked about the agricultural sector reforms. He talked about the power sector reforms, how all of this are supposed to just move our economy to that point. But you've gone through this speech, you went through the one before, and more high points coming through there about economy and job creation. What strikes you from this speech?
Thank you. Clearly, those are what we have on screen right now. Summarizes everything the president talked about. But what bothers us as Nigerians today is actually the state of Nigeria. And what you will notice is in 2011, when the president gave his Independence Day speech, he had mentioned the word Nigeria 24 times. Last year, during the Independence Day speech, he mentioned the word Nigeria 29 times. What you find out this year is today, during the speech, he used the word Nigeria 32 times. So what you will see, or what you will notice, looking at the tone of his language, is it seems to be that he's more interested about what is happening in Nigeria than how he was years ago, which is actually a very, very good sign. If you look at his body language, because he didn't have that room to walk around too much, we can't rely so much on his body language. We'll have to look at an algorithm of the words he used. There are about 3 categories of words the president used. It's what I call a 643 system. There are some words that he used only 3 times. So, for example, money, unity, schools and children. During the president's speech today, those were the key words the president used 3 times. So it allows you to understand the thinking of the president by some of the areas he's very concerned about. And there were some words that the president used 4 times. Those 2 key words that he used 4 times were terrorist and election. Clearly, we see from, again, the president's 643 system of discussing, and this is what I call it, is that yes, at some lower level, the unity of the country is extremely important. The schools and the children are extremely important. And the situation with how we handle funds, which is money, which he used 3 times, are quite important. What seemed to be more important during his speech, which he used 4 times, was what we have headaches today about, and that's terrorist, which he used 4 times, and election, because we are coming into an election year, which he also used 4 times.
That's for this speech.
That's for today's speech.
Okay,
today's speech.
Did you? I don't know. I'm thinking about 442. I mean,
the education system, right? 6443.
The football formation.
Okay.
But the last speech, he also did well because he made reference to the last speech last year, this year, today. So, was there any similar? Because at that time too, he was concerned about insurgency, just like everybody else was. So, was there any particular link or similarities in terms of how he used it then and now, and what does it imply?
And last speech, there are some key words that were also quite common with his speech, jobs, infrastructure. But what you notice is, compared to last year's speech, jobs, infrastructure, and the economy were more mentioned, words that were more mentioned this year than they were last year. So what you will find out is the key discussion or the key focus, looking at the algorithm of the text or the words he used, seemed to focus more on jobs, infrastructure, and the economy as the first set. As the second set, the focus was more on terrorists and elections. And on the third set, the focus was more on schools, our children,